हेलो एवरीबॉडी। रिश्तपुष्ट चैनल पर आप सभी का एक बार फिर से स्वागत है। जैसे कि मैंने आप सभी को कहा है कि नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन वीक 2020 चल रहा है एंड एट रिश्तपुष्ट चैनल मैं आपकी होस्ट पर्ल जसरा इस पूरे वीक बहुत ही अच्छे शोज लेकर आऊँगी, वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव एंड वेरी नॉलेजेबल डिस्कशंस विद एक्सपर्ट्स फ्रॉम वेरियस फील्ड्स जो कि आपकी हेल्थ और न्यूट्रिशन के बारे में आपसे बातचीत करेंगे एंड दे विल गाइड यू इन अ बेटर वे कि आप अपने जीवन को और सेहतमंद कैसे बना सकते हैं एंड हाउ यू कैन इनकॉर्पोरेट मोर न्यूट्रिशन in your daily diet and in any other ways you can help grow your own food. How can you do that? आप अपनी exercise routines कैसी रख सकते हैं? So this week is all going to be about your health, your food, your nutrition, so ultimately about your well-being, which is equal to your happiness. एट रिश्त पुष्ट हमारी कोशिश यही रहती है कि आप सभी को हम खूब सारी ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन लाके दे सके जो सिर्फ आपकी सेहत से रिलेटेड नहीं बल्कि जनरल नॉलेज से रिलेटेड भी हो एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो discuss with us about the different issues happening around the world एंड हम आपके पास ऐसे अलग अलग मुद्दे लेकर आते हैं जिससे आपकी और लोगों के हर एज ग्रुप की, चाहे वो बच्चे हों, मिडिल एज पीपल हों, बड़े हों, वो सभी अपने आसपास जो भी हो रहा है उसके बारे में और नॉलेज गेन कर सकें। सो विदाउट एनी मच फर्दर अडू मैं शुरू करती हूँ आज की हमारी डिस्कशन। बहुत ही अहम मुद्दे पर है। जैसे कि मैंने आपसे बताया कि इस पूरा वीक हम रिश्तपुष्ट चैनल पर नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन वीक 2020 मना रहे हैं। तो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने इस बार अनाउंस किया है, गाइडलाइंस दी हैं दैट यूजुअली एक वीक को हम एज ए न्यूट्रिशन वीक मनाते हैं, पर इस बार दिस होल मंथ ऑफ सितंबर विल बी सेलिब्रेटेड एज द नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन मंथ 2020 एंड उसके तहत आपके सामने बहुत सारे सोशल मीडिया चैनल्स पर अलग अलग मीडियम्स के द्वारा आप तक बहुत सारी अच्छी न्यूट्रिशनल रिलेटेड, हेल्थ रिलेटेड, फूड रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन पहुंचाई जाएगी एंड द गवर्नमेंट इज ऑल्सो ट्राइंग टू डू ऑन ग्राउंड एक्टिविटीज़ एंड मैनी अदर कैंपेन्स हर तरह से, ताकि आप खूब सारी इंफॉर्मेशन ले पाएँ और अपने घर पर बैलेंस्ड डाइट फॉलो कर पाएँ एंड उससे बैलेंस्ड लाइफस्टाइल की तरफ अग्रसर हो पाएँ। सो जैसे कि आज का टॉपिक है हमारा हेल्दी फूड द ऑर्गेनिक वे। तो इस बार जब नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन वीक हम मना रहे हैं तो वन ऑफ द थीम्स ऑफ द नेशनल न्यूट्रिशन वीक विच हैज़ बिन गिवन बाय द गवर्नमेंट इज दैट वी नीड टू ग्रो आवर ओन फूड। अपने खाने को खुद उगाएं और अपने फूड को हम खुद अपने घरों में थोड़ा थोड़ा करके उगा पाएँ। तो एक हम काम कर रहे हैं नेशनल लेवल पर मैल न्यूट्रिशन पे, बिकॉज हमारे देश में 37% बच्चे अंडर द एज ऑफ 5 आर malnourished according to the recent report of the UN and that is not a very good thing. इन फैक्ट हमारे आगे वाला जो फ्यूचर है, आने वाला फ्यूचर हमारी पीढ़ियों का हमारे छोटे छोटे बच्चों पे डिपेंड करता है और अगर वही मालनरिश्ड होंगे, मालन्यूट्रिशन्ड होंगे, कुपोषित होंगे तो फिर आगे हमारे देश की तरक्की, डेवलपमेंट ऑल विल बी अफेक्टेड। सो वी हैव टू मेक श्योर that we give a better life, a healthier life to our children so that they can become assets to our society, for our nation. So these are our little हमारी कोशिशें, our endeavors where we are trying to bring across expert advice for all of you so that you can lead a healthier and a happier life. We have a very special guest with us today and I am really honored to introduce him to you. We have Sardar Gunbir Singh ji with us here today. इनके बारे में मैं आपको सबसे पहले बता दूं कि ये एक NGO चलाते हैं by the name of Dilbir Foundation. He is the president of this NGO and this NGO is basically working towards connecting citizens with organic natural producers. तो नेचुरल ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग करने वाले हमारे फार्मर्स को डायरेक्टली लोगों से सिटीजन से कनेक्ट करना so that they both can benefit from each other. This is one of the things his NGO Dilbir Foundation is doing. Then also they are into legacy conservation. हमारे विरसे के ऊपर बहुत सारा काम कर रहे हैं, पंजाबी विरसे पे, एंड एजुकेशन एंड इनोवेशन पे बहुत काम कर रही है दिलबीर फाउंडेशन. And Sardar Gunbir Singh ji has been rightly called an influencer towards wellness and well-being for all. So, sir, it is a pleasure for me to have you on my show today on this channel, RishtPusht.
Thank you, Pearl. It's such a pleasure to be here, and for a subject which is so close to my heart. You had mentioned about the children, our next generation, which is grossly malnutrition today. आपने बताया कि 37% malnutrition है as per UN sources.
Yes.
This is a cause of huge worry to all of us, and I think even the government is extremely concerned and working towards improving the nutrition of the Indian households. But I wish to relate to you an incident which shows the gravity of the issue.
All right.
When these COVID times started,
Yes.
हमारा NGO तकरीबन 7 दिन के अंदर हमें सरकार की तरफ से परमिशंस मिल गई थी एज एन एसेंशियल सर्विस कि आप जो सेवा कर रहे हो of connecting the farmer with the consumer of essential goods वो आप जारी रखिए. So whenever in the country we in the state where we are we were given the permissions.
Okay.
And उस वक्त where the supply systems were so badly broken, and people were hankering for food to be delivered to their households, we started, we bought ourselves quickly a van to start collecting food from the farmers and delivering it to consuming households. And a lot of new people also came in asking for supplies to be made.
Okay.
And to my horror, our team started getting calls from mothers, not the ones who were regular sensible buyers of natural foods, but others who said that you are delivering natural foods and this and that, but what we require is hame, I don't want to name the brands, but
Okay.
क्विक नूडल्स वो आप सप्लाई कीजिए, हमें सप्लाई कीजिए, हमें ये सामान चाहिए. And I told my team, I said, we are not going to get into this thing about supplying things which we consider as not nutritious.
Definitely.
So, but can you imagine, even through the worst COVID times, which shows that our next generation is so used to having the potato chips and the quick foods, the fast foods, that it became we had to decline these things and tell them that if you want good natural foods, they can be supplied by the foundation, but we will not get into this thing about supplying stuff for the children of this nation, which is not nutritious.
That is very surprising and immensely alarming that in the times where, the kind of incident that you have related, so in the times where there was scarcity of food, people did not have basic atta, dal and rice to cook food with. There is such a grave dependency on processed foods. It has become like a kind of an addiction for especially the children.
I remember watching videos of people coming back to and calling up Karyana and ration shops कि हमारे पास डिलीवर हुए हैं दाल, आटा, राशन वगैरह, और ये आप वापस ले लीजिए और हमें these packaged foods दे दीजिए, which our children are asking for. So can you imagine that that is the kind of lifestyle which, as parents, in modern households, regardless of the whether it's a rural household or an urban household, but that's the kind of thing which is easy to find for and easy to give to children, and therefore lacks the nutrition as well.
Very true, sir. That brings me to the first question. In fact, I was thinking that whenever we talk about healthy food, I have seen nowadays a mindset shift among parents, especially, when they prefer packaged food and they prefer processed food to the natural food. जो बाहर मिल रहा है, ताज़ा मिल रहा है, फ्रेश मिल रहा है, वो गंदा है, उसको हाथ लगे हुए हैं. अगर फ्रेश मिल्क मिल रहा है आपके मिल्क मैन से, दूधी से, तो वो दूध गंदा होगा तो पैकेट वाला दूध लेके आते हैं, वो टेट्रा पैक्स एंड ऑल. So what kind of mindset are we moving towards, and do you think it is really healthier? Because I somehow see that or even on our TV channels, on our social media, tetra packaging and these processed foods are being promoted in a very big manner.
See, I'm going to say that that is completely wrong, to the extent that even today in this country we have food being wasted to the extent of 29%. I'm talking about farm produce, which eventually finds way to the consumer. In the process, we are still, due to harvest losses, due to lack of processing facilities, we are losing about 29% of the produce. So, but there are ways of even processing food. For example, fruit है. Fruit के मामले jams मरब्बा बन सकता है. The traditional way जो मरब्बे बनते हैं. And they can be retained for nearly a month or more without preservatives, without additives which are unhealthy.
Right.
Unfortunately, in our systems has crept up so much of unhealthy additives, starting from the production stage also itself. I'm talking about in the production stage. Soil को तैयार करना है तो soil तैयार करने के लिए inputs क्या पड़ रहे हैं, the ureas, the NPKs, the humongous numbers which are not even required. इतनी ज़्यादा inputs पड़ रही हैं. The soils are dead. फिर उसके बाद even the seed itself is coated with all kinds of poisons.
Oh my God.
In fact, if you pick up a seed packet of any food item, whether it is a gourd or it is it's spinach, whatever it is, उसके ऊपर आप पढ़ो लिखा होगा very prominently, do not eat. This is poisonous.
Oh my goodness.
So even if you have to plant a seed in your house, you will find that most of the seeds available are coated with toxic substances. और वो उसका कारण ये है कि उसकी shelf life बढ़ती है. So these are the shortcut methods which are not frowned upon by the state, and this is absolutely wrong. इसके आगे आप चल पड़े तो वो ग्रोथ स्टेज के ऊपर आपको पता ही है जो लेवल ऑफ इनपुट्स पड़ रहे हैं, पेस्टिसाइड्स, फंगिसाइड्स, हर्बिसाइड्स, वीडिसाइड्स, what have you, अपना इतना केमिकल इनपुट पड़ता है, and many of them are completely banned in other countries, and yet they are being imported to our country and being circulated.
Exactly.
और सर्कुलेशन जो इन चीज़ों का होता है वो भी एज पर द फॉर्मूला नहीं है. ये है कि अवॉइड करने चाहिए कम्प्लीटली, बट उसके अलावा भी अगर फॉर नेचुरल फार्मिंग which must be encouraged, and that is what we encourage. But even from the levels, if a farmer sees, say, sees caterpillars on his farm,
Yes.
recommended doses कोई तो देखेगा ही नहीं. they will put maybe 2, 3, 4, 10 times more than even the required dosage. Nobody knows what is the
That
required
that
dosage to begin
that
with.
is horrifying. That is horrifying.
And they will spray it. Not only will they kill the crop, will they kill the pest. And believe me, there is just 1% of pests in soil which are
Harmful.
harmful to the crop. 99% of them are mostly helpful to the soil and the crop, or do not affect the produce. So आप imagine करो कि we have dead soils today.
My God.
Eventually, आज की डेट में जो यहाँ पे जो इवन आपकी जो पेस्टिसाइड्स हैं, systemic pesticides are being introduced. What is a systemic pesticide? It goes to the molecule of the plant itself.
Okay.
Now, if that has a shelf life of, say, 3 to 6 months, you are eating that within 20 days. And therefore consuming the pesticide straight from the inside of the produce which you are getting.
Oh my God. And imagine, no wonder the kind of diseases people have nowadays,
Yes,
and massive disorders, the kind of viruses we are facing. I mean, it's all connected in some manner or the other.
absolutely it is. So this is why we started our nearly 1.5 decades ago. We started our interaction with the farmers.
In fact, that is what I was
Trying-
going to ask you. That tell us what Dilbeer Foundation is doing with farmers.
Well, Dilbeer Foundation primarily started nearly 15 years ago, 2004 actually, on various goalposts. But the goalpost which was dearest to us was always the environment. And within the environment, we went ahead with seeing the scourge of cancers and tumors and diseases which were there in the not only the consumer but also the farming community. So we started working with the farmers to tell them that they should, to begin with, and can you imagine, this was a very essential model.
Mm-hmm.
We started telling them to at least, if not the whole land area that they have, segregate one area to begin with for their own household.
Okay.
So that they stop,
Yes.
They start eating natural produce themselves.
And then they would be able to understand the difference.
And then the realization, okay, my goodness, look at what we are producing and look at what we are eating.
Okay.
So, and the second phase was to then talk to them, start talking to them once it gathered some traction. That आप ये तो आप कर रहे हैं, पर ये याद रखिए कि ये जो जब हल चलता है ये सारी सॉइल मिक्स हो जाती है. जब पानी आप डालते हो तो सारे ज़मीन पे ऊपर डालते हो, वो भी मिक्स हो जाता है. जब आप स्प्रे दूसरी तरफ करते हो, वो भी इस तरह होता है. That education we started with the farming community.
Okay.
That was the second phase. But then we found that the farmer said, all right, and believe me, I mean, I have been to every nook and cranny of at least Punjab, and then later on we went up to through Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and other places also. But we found that there was ample concern in the farming community because disease was knocking at their doors and was in their households.
That's encouraging, at least.
So, उन्होंने जहाँ पे अगर किसी मीटिंग पे 7-8 farmers को invite किया होता था, there used to be 30, 40, 50 people who used to come there. So, I mean, that is the kind of interest there was in natural farming. So this then of course was कि okay हम उगा लेते हैं पर बेचना तो हमें मंडी में पड़ेगा और वही हमें 10 रुपए किलो की बिकेगी. So what to do, because our costs are higher, our productivity goes down. So all that came about. So then we told them that all right, we will set up for you model organic farmers markets where you interact yourself with the consumers. Tell them the wealth of goodness that you are giving to them, and therefore start your interaction with the consumer and convincing them and selling your product there in itself, then not at wholesale rates but at retail rates. I said you take an additional margin, people are willing to pay the additional margin also,
Yes.
so that your economies are corrected. So वो बहुत अच्छा एक model रहा, which encouraged a lot of people. It was, it was encouraged by the government also. They recognized us for our activity with Praman Patra on the 15th of August.
That's
So,
wonderful. In fact, I myself have been a regular goer to the organic markets that you would put up, and it has been a very, very wonderful experience, because farmers would, for the viewers who are watching us, farmers, I would like
yeah,
to tell them that the farmers themselves came with their produce, and not only the raw vegetables, but different kinds of things. They were doing some seeds, some honeys, jams, whatever they were making, murabbas, like Uncle just mentioned. And
yeah,
also, some of them in the winter months would bring freshly cooked organic saag. That was the
that's right.
star of
That's
the
right.
whole show. So it is very motivating for the farmers, as well as very informative, and a matter of awareness for the normal citizens, when they find the difference between the pesticide and insecticide grown vegetables and the organic vegetables that we are cooking and eating. The cooking time, the taste, the quality, everything is, there is a big change in both the versions.
Absolutely.
So,
In fact,
yeah,
yeah, sorry.
yes, Uncle, please go ahead.
Yeah, in fact, that is why when we went into the next phase, after farmers markets, we realized that we need to have maybe dedicated stores, क्योंकि farmers ने अपनी produce फिर हमें भेजनी शुरू कर दी. They would send it across to us, quintals of dal and quintals of even spices and all that started coming to us, and we wondered, okay, so perforce we went into the process of steam sterilizing, drying, grading the produce, packaging it for them, and that's why we created then the earth stores.
Okay.
So we have earth stores now in Amritsar, Ludhiana, the Tri-City of Chandigarh. But now, after creating these, now the supplies are going countrywide.
That's amazing.
People are ordering, and we are sending couriering supplies monthly or quarterly to them.
So then it brings me to the next question, that when we talk about organic food, I have seen that it is obviously more expensive, and then the yield is very less as compared to the normal insecticide and pesticide से जो खाना उगा होता है. तो एक तो फार्मर्स के लिए, जैसे कि आपने बताया, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इश्यूज आ जाते हैं. So, how sustainable is organic farming in the coming years, and how can we make it more sustainable? और लोगों तक बहुत मतलब नॉर्मल चार्जेस में, नॉर्मल प्राइसेस पर ये कैसे पहुंच सकता है, क्योंकि ऑर्गेनिक फूड बहुत महंगा है और आम लोग probably they cannot really afford it.
There are two things. One, the productivity fall takes place in the first year itself, once the change takes place, and then it starts recovering in the second and third year. So a farm becomes organic or completely natural only in about 3 years' time.
It takes 3 years.
So
Okay.
yes, there is this time lag which is there. Now, during this time lag, yes, there is a loss to the farmer. But again, what we started doing was something different. We started telling the farmer that, all right, we will introduce your produce as year 1 organic, year 2 organic, year 3 organic, and then completely natural. So it was always There were no added inputs on the crop itself, so therefore it was way better than anything that we were getting in the market, right?
Okay.
And secondly, our effort was to remove all the middlemen between the farmer and the consumer. So there is where the catch is.
Right.
I give the example, say, if let's take the example of our humble Karela, the bitter
Ji.
gourd. So if the farmer is getting 20 rupees a kg today for Karela, it is selling in the market for 50 or 60 rupees a
Very true.
kg in the retail.
Very true.
Now, if the farmer gets 50 or 60 rupees a kg, then all his costs, all his burdens, all his extra mehnat, because mehnat bhi bahut
बिल्कुल
lagti hai
बिल्कुल
usme, natural farming, is covered. So our effort always was to remove all the middlemen, get the product to the consumer at a fair price. And that fair price, if the normal Karela is available for 50, he would get it perhaps at 70.
Okay, that's not, then there's not much of a difference.
All right. So now at 70, the farmer is exceedingly happy. The consumer gets what he wants, and the consumer doesn't need to pay
Exorbitantly.
huge bills to the doctors also.
Yes.
So that's a cost which a consumer, unenlightened consumer, does not consider in life, and that's a huge cost.
Exactly. And sir, now that what I see is that you've been working more on direct marketing and like your NGO in the profile. You just mentioned that you're connecting farmers directly with the citizens, which brings me to the next question that. Don't you think that we need more farmer markets in the city around and on a very bigger level in the country so that the normal farmers can also directly have interactions with the citizens and they can directly buy food and then only we will be able to bring natural farming to the forefront. Otherwise there is no encouraging or motivating factor for the farmer in this scenario as such for now.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I think you need 1,000 Dilbir foundations to get the job done. I mean, we are just a humble participant, advocate in a cause which is dear to humanity. But the fact of the matter is that the extent of requirement is huge. So we also try to create a situation where we inspire as many people as we can to nurture them if they need nurturing, including the farmer or another NGO which wants to do this work, and then to literally liberate them and tell them, now you're on your own. You have your client base, you have everything, please carry on. So in this process of about a decade and a half, I think we must have nurtured hundreds of farmers, some NGOs who got inspired by us and took the cause. During these COVID times, when people were finding it so difficult to earn a living, started a brand new concept, and that concept was a work from home concept for this exact cause. I mean, in the
Yes.
sense that even today, our distributorships are open across the country to anybody who wants to sit at home, make some money, as well as distribute these baskets of goodness to people so that their health improves and help the farmer as well. I mean, and people from Calcutta, people from Lucknow, people from Dehradun, people from uh, all across the nation have joined in. From Delhi have joined in, and they are helping the cause.
That's really
So
amazing because we not only need to make the farmer more aware and get him towards organic and natural farming, but we need to make the people more aware. And by this model that you have adopted, I think it's a campaign, awareness campaign in itself for the people that they can earn through it also, and then they would be motivating other people to eat healthier things. They will be able to tell them the reasons why they need to adopt organic food.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, sir, एक generalized भाषा में I would really like that you tell all our viewers कि हमें organic food की तरफ आने की ज़रूरत क्यों है?
अ, अपनी सेहत अगर ठीक रखनी है, अपने परिवार की सेहत ठीक रखनी है, तो आपको नेचुरल लेनी ज़रूरी है। ये हम ना सोचें, भूलें कि ये जो ट्रेडिशनल विजडम है स्लो फूड की, स्लो फूड वो है जो फास्ट फूड नहीं है। तो ये ट्रेडिशनल विजडम जो है ये सस्टेनेबल है आज की मॉडर्न लाइफस्टाइल्स में। अगर हमने ये कोविड जैसे, कोरोना जैसे वायरसेस से जूझना है, तो हमारी सेहत अंदर से, हमारी इम्यून सिस्टम्स अंदर से अच्छे तंदुरुस्त होने बहुत ज़रूरी है, हृष्ट पुष्ट होने ज़रूरी है। सो अगर हम नेचुरल फूड्स नहीं लेंगे, इसका क्या खमियाजा है? खमियाजा उसका ये है कि हम रेगुलर अपने अंदर टॉक्सिन्स, पॉइजन्स डाल रहे हैं। जब हम टॉक्सिन्स एंड पॉइजन्स अपने अंदर डाल रहे हैं, हम अपनी सेहत को ख़राब कर रहे हैं, हेल्दी सेल्स, इम्यूनिटी, ये सब के ऊपर इम्पैक्ट पड़ रहा है। In this day and age, more and more people in the last 6 months have taken on to organic. I'm not talking about just about India. Internationally, people are hankering for natural foods because they know that they need core strength from inside to fight these scourges. And this is not the first and the last scourge which is going to hit us.
Right, very true.
So
Yes.
that's the point. So these traditional wisdoms are things which we must adopt and continue with. Also, I'd like to point out here that it is not just the fast food that we purchase. You know, the quick shortcuts that we have started going in for. Microwaving food is one example. I mean, every time you microwave your food, you kill about 30% of nutrition in it. I mean, I'm not saying it.
Really?
It is an established fact which is there. Nobody wants to talk about it, but that is true.
Now that is some information for us that 30% of the nutritional value goes away when you microwave your food.
30%, yeah. So, I mean, if you were to reheat a couple of times, you would actually make food useless.
Exactly. And we keep doing that throughout the day without even realizing.
So, I mean, habitually, let me again say, the traditional way is even today the best way. And the old wisdoms are the best wisdom. हमारी दादियाँ, हमारी नानियाँ नींबू का अचार बनाती थी, right?
जी, जी.
वो नींबू का अचार जो होता था, वो 3-3, 4-4 साल पड़ा रहता था. Eventually, it used to become churn. Nothing used to happen to it. कितने preservatives होते थे उसमें? And let's not also forget, नींबू का अचार includes the rind, right? The chilka.
Yes, the chilka.
Chilka is more valuable for your natural health than the नींबू itself.
Okay.
So, I mean, let's not forget these old wisdoms and let's subscribe to them yet again and get back to them.
So basically, each part of any vegetable or fruit is as useful as the fruit or the vegetable itself.
Wonderful, yes.
Yes. So, sir, since you've been working on healthier food choices for the last, almost couple of decades now, I would like you to suggest certain food choices that we can make in our daily life, in our kitchens, what we can replace, that we can have, probably a nice cup of tea, a nice cup of coffee, or we can, introduce some spices or something in our everyday vegetables that would make it, better, healthier. And, so if you could suggest some things, that would be very helpful for our viewers.
I would suggest that people eat and drink natural, uncontaminated inputs. For example, if it's the water that you drink, if you are using these newest reverse osmosis systems, RO systems,
RO systems.
then you are taking out all the minerals from the water also.
Yes.
So
Okay.
not only is the bacteria being taken out, all the minerals are also being taken out. So you are in looking for deep trouble up ahead. The
Okay.
natural way, if at all you are so concerned, uh, either the ultraviolet old system of just removing the bacteria or simply joining boiling and drinking the water is fine. Retaining it in an earthenware pot, ghado mein,
Mm-hmm.
is fantastic because it adds more minerals to the water than before.
Okay.
So, and then we come to fruit and vegetables. Eat natural. Do not eat the fruit of the season. Eat the vegetable of the season. Don't go searching for avocados as huge health givers because avocados are not grown here.
Yeah.
Italian grapes need not be eaten. Every fruit must be had in the season itself. It must be duly washed, cleansed, and then had only. And so is true for the vegetables. Be sure of the source of the vegetables, where you're getting it all. Even the spices. I mean, it's so
Yes.
fortunate
They are very
that
essential.
spices are humongous health givers. uh, दालचीनी,
Right. Yes.
आपकी जो लौंग,
Long.
हल्दी, मतलब इनका तो मुकाबला ही नहीं है as health givers to and these are things which are Indian in their
Yes.
sourcing, and we as spice eating people are healthier than the entire world. But what is the quality of our spices? Are we getting spices from the regular market, which where the oils have been removed? For example, we get haldi from our farmer. A farmer who started from 20 plants is today growing haldi in 11 acres, has his own powdering and milling machinery today.
Mm-hmm.
And the haldi that comes from him is leaking oil. Have you seen haldi in the market which you get, which has oil leaking out of it?
Not. I
Because
mean.
turmeric oil is what contains, and the haldi contains the curcumin, which is the
Yes. Yes.
health giver, and all that is removed because that sells for thousands of rupees per kg.
The oil itself is removed, and okay. And
I mean, अगर आपकी वो लौंग भी है, लौंग का भी तेल निकाल के आपको दे देंगे ना सेंट्रीफ्यूगल मेथड से, आपको पता नहीं
so,
चलेगा.
so then what we are eating is, it's devoid of any minerals, any vitamins. I mean, it has
I'm
nothing
not
in it.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that the sources that of food that we have must be ones which you have confidence in.
All right.
And best is to get it from the source itself. If you have a farmer, visit his farm. If you have an NGO doing some work and you have confidence in the NGO, take their advice to do it. And the ultimate and the most cost effective way, grow it yourself.
Yes.
I
Okay.
mean, uh,
In fact, I was going to, my next question was going to be that what about this concept of growing your own food? We have smaller homes now. So, and I have seen you promoting a lot of kitchen gardening. You yourself are doing a lot of kitchen gardening at your home. I have seen wonderful vegetables growing on his terrace itself. So, if you can just guide us on how we can start growing our own food, because it seems like a very cumbersome process, for a layman like me also, that कैसे शुरू करेंगे, कहाँ उगाएंगे, we need a lot of land and all. So how easy it is.
Pearl, it is the easiest thing that you can do. We started this in maybe in about 2013. We started this program called Eco Amritsar, and in that program, we started creating model households. So, first model household was the one I created in my home, wherein all the green garbage that we have gets converted into manure so easily, and we use the same manure and the soils to grow vegetables on our terrace. If you have land available to you, some patch, green patch outside or whatever, grow it there. Or and use your wet garbage, your green garbage, convert it into एक अगर आपके पास जमीन है बाहर थोड़ी बहुत,
जी
make ditches. In those ditches, start throwing your chilkas and your fruit waste and your vegetable waste, your
eggshells
eggshells,
and
your
everything. Okay.
everything. And then every day that you throw it, throw a little bit of mitti on it and leave it. And so as it fills up, it is about 4 inches from the top. Then you layer it with more mitti and press it down. Leave it there.
Okay.
Let the if you're not using any pesticides and this and that, you will see that within a few hours, you will have earthworms starting to come there. You will have all kinds of keeda which are there, which are the friendly pests in the soil.
Okay.
They will come and start converting it into manure for you.
That's wonderful.
So I mean, garbage, your green garbage, is a national asset, and we waste it.
Ye-
I mean, all you need to do is take it out. I mean, in my case, I didn't have land available in the home, so I just made standing beds on top of my terrace. I get visitors every week to come and see and how we are growing it. I can do my godi myself standing up,
Beautiful.
and all it contains is about 18 inches of soil. And we keep mixing all our manure, which we generate from the household itself. And we have the whole terrace is filled up with kharbujas and lauki and
Wow.
gourds and bindi or whatever have
That's
you.
wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
ग्रीन गार्बेज बेसिकली इज आपका जो गीला कूड़ा होता है घर का, आपके सब्जियों के छिलके, फ्रूट्स के छिलके, एज सर सेड दैट अंडों के छिलके, ऑल दीज थिंग्स। एक तो आपका कूड़ा लुक आफ्टर हो जाता है, आपको इट इज नॉट स्प्रेड अराउंड, और आपकी सॉइल में इतनी न्यूट्रिशन आ जाती है, यू आर प्रोड्यूसिंग ऑर्गेनिक्स, यू आर मेकिंग ऑर्गेनिक सॉइल जिसमें आपकी सब्जियां बहुत ही बेहतरीन निकल के आएंगी। आई थिंक दैट इज वंडरफुल कि अगर हम अपने टेरेसेस पे भी ये कर सकते हैं, लाइक आई डोंट हैव अ
So,
ड्राई पैच ऑफ लैंड, दैट काइंड ऑफ अ लैंड, सो आई कैन डू इट ऑन माय टेरेस एज वेल।
or your bele, for example, all these gourds which are grown, whether it is the pumpkins and this and
Yes.
that, all you need is 1 foot by 1 foot square in which you plant the seed, and बेल निकल आती है. In a month or 1.5 months time, it'll fill up your wall,
That's
and look very beautiful, give you flowers and everything, and then start giving you vegetable.
amazing.
So you can put it anywhere.
So that means that there's not much of an effort, we just need to begin.
Absolutely.
And
And the joy that it gives you. I have a neighbor who who used to see, the vegetables that we used to produce at home. And outside, I mean, he doesn't have any place. He used to plant it outside, and लोग उठा के ले जाते थे वो भिंडियाँ सब used. So, but then I told him, I said, you're doing that. That's wonderful because somebody is at least eating good food. But you can also grow it on your inside your house or on top on the terrace. Pots में उगा लो ना आप. So he was absolutely gratified. Today he says, I spend at least an hour and a half every day, not because I need to, but I enjoy it, and I pluck my own vegetables and get it made every day. Every day we are getting stuff. So, I mean, it can be done anywhere,
yes,
even in earthenware pots.
that's amazing. I mean, at least to begin with, we can start growing our own कोरिएंडर एंड मिंट एंड तुलसी, ये छोटी छोटी चीजें जब हम घर पे अपने छोटे पॉट्स में उगाएंगे, वी कैन कीप इट इन द विंडोज नियर आवर किचन, इन आवर किचन विंडोज. So that is a motivation in itself when we see the plant growing, that probably we can grow some more healthy food by using the waste that our household is already producing, the green waste. So ultimately the kitchen gardening, ये जो एक ऐसा कॉन्सेप्ट था जो शुरू से हमारे देश में था, बट somehow with the modern lifestyle it started fading away. So we have to start going back to it. And as sir already said, that his NGO, the Dalbir Foundation, is already doing so much to not only make the farmers aware, but also it is very essential to make the normal people like you and me aware of the benefits कि ऑर्गेनिक खाना हमारे लिए क्यों ज़रूरी है, घर पे उगाना हमारे लिए क्यों ज़रूरी है. एक फार्मर से डायरेक्ट जब हम बाय करते हैं तो हम उसके घर परिवार के लिए उसकी सस्टेनेबिलिटी और बढ़ाते हैं, उसको जिस तरह की एनकरेजमेंट मिलती है जब वो अपनी प्रोड्यूस सीधा बायर को सेल करने आता है. तो आई थिंक नथिंग मैचेस दैट. मिडल मैन रिमूव करके जब आप डायरेक्टली अपनी चीज़ उन कस्टमर्स को दे रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं क्वालिटी कंट्रोल भी रहता है, एक आंसरेबिलिटी भी रहती है, एंड देयर इज अ सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑन बोथ द एंड्स कि जो बेच रहा है फार्मर, उसे भी पता है कि इस कस्टमर ने बार बार आना है मेरे पास, और जो कस्टमर खरीद रहा है ही ऑल्सो फॉर्म्स अ काइंड ऑफ रिलेशनशिप विद द फार्मर एंड द प्रोड्यूस एज वेल. So, sir, it has been an amazing session. And last but not the least, I would like you to give some kind of message for our youngsters, because our youngsters are the ones who are going to be the torch bearers of this campaign of natural farming, this revolution that people like you are trying to build up, so that हमारी आगे वाली generation एक हेल्दी बॉडी मिल सके, उनको एक हेल्दी माइंड मिल सके, so that they can eat healthier food. So what would you like to advise them, because they are going more towards fast foods, processed foods, somewhere life modern lifestyle और fast lifestyle के लिए कुछ compromises करने पड़ते हैं. But then how to go about it? A message for the younger generation for their health and to adopt a healthy way of eating food.
I would say that the first thing that people like us must do is accept responsibility as a generation of the 1900s, which is responsible for the poor lifestyles that we have generated and the poor habits that we have inculcated in ourselves and therefore with our progeny.
Very true.
So I think as people who have been born in the 1900s, we need to take responsibility for that first, and then talk to the youth and encourage them to not do what we have encouraged them to do earlier. It's a change which will take place. The kids of today are very responsible. They know what is good for them, and they will find their way themselves. They read a lot. Google is available to them. All kinds of information is available to them. They are seeing performances and interviews like the kind that you have so valuably done today, and they are ingesting all this information. Many of them are today starting with kitchen gardens, starting to eat natural whole foods, and starting to give up their lifestyles. I would say to them that please adopt sustainable traditional lifestyles. Keep your cheat days every weekend if you need to. That's fine, absolutely. Eat your pizzas and this and that, maybe one day of the week or one meal of the week, but the rest of the week, look after yourselves.
That's amazing. A wonderful message for us. And the best part that you have just mentioned, sir, is that the generation now is already very much aware and very much responsible towards themselves. They like looking after themselves, and they have so much information. They have so much access to a lot of knowledge and information, and which is a very wonderful thing. And with these words, I thank you again for joining us on this show of wellness and health. We would love to have you again with us to share your valuable knowledge with all of us. It was such a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, आज की डिस्कशन रही हमारी हेल्दी फूड चॉइसेस कैसे हम कर सकते हैं ऑर्गेनिक फूड जिसकी एक हम रेवोल्यूशन धीरे धीरे बढ़ती हुई देख रहे हैं ना कि सिर्फ हमारे अपने देश में बट ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड जैसे कि सरदार गुरमीत सिंह जी ने हमें बताया कि उनकी एनजीओ भी एक पंजाब लेवल पर ऑर्गेनिक फार्मर्स के साथ काम कर रही है कि उन्हें सिटीजन्स के साथ डायरेक्टली जोड़ा जाए ये छोटे छोटे एफर्ट्स हैं ये बिगिनिंग्स हैं ये शुरुआतें हैं टू मूव टूवर्ड्स अ मोर हेल्दियर लाइफस्टाइल अब हर बार एक मॉडर्न लाइफस्टाइल का एक्सक्यूज जब हम देते हैं तो वो ये रहता है कि बहुत ही फास्ट पेस्ड लाइफ है हमारी सो वी डोंट हैव द टाइम टू मेक हेल्दियर चॉइसेस बट देन एज सरदार गुरमीत सिंह जी rightfully said that if we don't have the time to make healthier choices for ourselves, then how are we going to face the kind of diseases and the kind of viruses coming towards us in these modern times? Hamari immunities nahi strong hongi. Now, look at the example of COVID-19 as a whole world we are still clueless we don't know where it came from and how it is going to end we are still finding for solutions for this massive virus that we are faced with बट उसी तरह से अगर देखा जाए तो अगर हम डॉक्टर्स की एडवाइस सुने तो वो यही कहते हैं कि ये वायरसेस उन लोगों को अफेक्ट नहीं कर पाता है जिनकी इम्यूनिटी स्ट्रांग होती है तो इम्यूनिटी कैसे स्ट्रांग रखेंगे वी कैन नॉट बी डिपेंडेंट ऑन मेडिसिन्स ऑल द टाइम द मेडिसिन्स दैट वी ईट दे मेक अस वीक फ्रॉम इनसाइड एंड दे अफेक्ट आवर इम्यूनिटी इन अ वेरी बैड वे सो द ओनली वे हम अपनी इम्यूनिटी स्ट्रांग कर सकते हैं हम अपनी बॉडी को स्ट्रांग कर सकते हैं इज बाय making healthier food choices हम जो खाना खाते हैं वो कहाँ से आ रहा है जो हम स्पाइसेस खरीद रहे हैं जो हम इवन प्रोसेस्ड फूड खरीद रहे हैं हम बाहर खा रहे हैं तो ये जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि वो जब खाना पक रहा है वहाँ उस जगह की हाइजीन कैसी है किस तरह की चीज़ें यूज़ हो रही हैं किस तरह के हाथ लग रहे हैं सफाई किस तरह की है तो इन सारी चीज़ों का ध्यान जब हम रखना शुरू कर देंगे तो हमारी इम्यूनिटी ऑलरेडी स्ट्रांग होनी शुरू हो जाएगी क्योंकि हमारी चॉइसेस हेल्दियर हो जाएंगी आप घर पे कोशिश कीजिए कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा खाना घर पे फ्रेशली मेड रहे and instead of buying already ready-made food from outside. कल हमने डाइटिशियन रिद्धि जी के साथ डिस्कस किया था इसका सबसे इजी तरीका है कि आप अपना मेन्यू प्री प्लान कर लीजिए आप कोशिश कीजिए कि मार्केट में जहाँ जहाँ ऑर्गेनिक मार्केट्स लग रही हैं वहाँ से आप डायरेक्टली फार्मर्स से अपनी वेजिटेबल्स अपने मसाले अपनी दालें अपना आटा चावल ये सब लेकर आएं इफ़ यू डोंट हैव एक्सेस टू द ऑर्गेनिक मार्केट्स यू कैन ऑल्सो ट्राई एंड फाइंड आउट ऑनलाइन अगर कोई ऑर्गेनिक फार्म्स आपके लोकल एरियाज में हैं तो आप ज़रूर वहाँ जाइए वहाँ जाके देखिए एंड व्हेन यू फील सेटिस्फाइड you should definitely adopt the organic way of life and make your food healthier so that your body is strong enough to face all the challenges of life and a healthy body always is the sign of a healthier mind a healthier mindset healthier mind से क्या होता है कि हम जीवन में एक बेहतरीन फोकस के साथ बेहतरीन कंसंट्रेशन के साथ और खूब सारी पॉजिटिविटी के साथ अपने फ्यूचर को बेहतरीन बनाते हैं अपने करियर्स को बेहतरीन बना सकते हैं अपने वर्क प्लेसेस में बहुत पॉजिटिविटी फैला सकते हैं एंड अल्टीमेटली दिस इज व्हाट वी वांट टू डू वी वांट टू मूव अहेड इन लाइफ विद अ लॉट ऑफ पॉजिटिविटी एंड फॉर दैट वी नीड टू be in a healthy body as well. So this is me, Pearl Jastra, signing off for today. Tomorrow, I will again see you at 1 p.m. with yet another expert who will be discussing things about health and nutrition and food with all of you. Try and grow your own food, try and adopt organic way of life, and subscribe to our channel RishtPusht. And as I always say, have a wonderful day, stay healthy, stay happy.